so far what we have talked about is we have talked about parabola and we have talked about circle, I assume. Let's see, let's check. Yes, we have talked about parabolas. Today what we're going to talk about is ellipse. We're going to talk about is ellipse. What's an ellipse? How does it work is, technically you have these 2 points. They are calling that these 2 points known as focus, F, which F stands for focus. There is these 2 points. If you can, these points are known as focus. And then what you're gonna do is, suppose you put 2 pins here, and you attach a string with it. You attach a string with it which is longer than these 2 points. Okay, and then you attach a pencil at the middle of that string and move that string. It's gonna form a formation like this. You'll get something like this. This kind of formation is known as ellipse. The middle of these 2 points is known as center. This middle of these 2 points is known as center. Okay. Also you need to know is, if I attach this, I connect these all points and I make a line. The point where my line and the ellipse meet each other is known as vertex. This is known as vertex. Also the line which contains center and focus, line containing center and focus is known as major axis. Because technically there are 2 axes here. One is this major axis and one is this here. This one from here to here. This is known as, this one is known as minor axis. The bigger axis is known as major axis. The smaller axis is known as minor axis. So these are the few terms you are supposed to know. Also usually we represent the coordinates of F as, note my center here, I am taking at 0, 0. First we will go to center which is different, but right now let's talk about center which is 0, 0. The focus is known as, the coordinate of focus will be C0 and this will be negative C0. Similarly for vertex they are calling it as A0 coordinate and this thing is known as negative A0. And this point of this vertex known as 0B and they're calling this as 0 negative. This is all about ellipse. You need to know what is major axis, what is minor axis, what is vertex, what is focus and what is center. If you know all this, what is B, what is A, what is C, because in the question they'll give you A is equal to this, B is equal to this, C is equal to this. You should know what is C representing, what is A representing, what is B representing. You're supposed to know these things. Okay. Any questions so far? Anyone? Any questions?
So basically we're just repeating what we did last class, right?
We did not do ellipse. We did parabola.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's
exactly.
last class.
Yes. In fact, this whole chapter is about this thing only. So today we are talking about ellipse. Tomorrow we'll be talking about hyperbola. So this whole chapter thing will be about this thing only. Yeah. So let's see the ellipse. I'm going to give you the formula now. Ellipse, center at 0, 0. So note my center is at 0, 0. Foci at, I'm saying C0 and negative C0, and vertices at A0 and negative A0. You're given all this. Okay, then the formula is x square over a square plus y square over b square is equal to 1. That's the formula. X square over a square plus y square over b square is equal to 1. Where? So my a is coming from my vertex and my b is the, so my a is the major axis vertices and b is my minor axis vertices. Okay, where you are given all a, b should be positive values. Also, there is a condition they are giving. B square is actually equal to a square minus c square. This is important here. Remember this. Along with the formula, remember this. There is a condition. B square is equal to a square minus c square. Now, example, let's do it here. The example says find an equation of the ellipse with center at origin. Okay, as soon as you know center at origin, you know you're gonna use a formula like this. Okay, one focus at 3,0 and a vertex at -4,0. They say graph the equation. Okay, let's see. Carly, not here. Jelena, not here. Axel,
I just got sure where we are right now. Sorry.
it's okay. You can note. Okay, I'll ask you the later question. That's okay.
Thank you.
Alejandro, no. Jose,
Yeah.
okay, Jose. Let's say I need to graph this. Okay, my center here. I'm gonna find the equation also, but let's start graphing first. My center is at 0,0. It says focus
Yeah.
at 3,0. So this is my graph. If I see it, this is my graph here. This is my
You'll,
center.
you'll have one focus at 3,0 and another at -3,0.
Perfect.
And your vertex would be at -4,0 and +4,0.
Perfect. Okay. But I cannot graph. I don't know my. I need to know these two vertices also.
Would you have to plug that into the equation?
I guess. See, you. What's your A? What's your A, C, and B? You, for the equation of the parabola, you need to know all these strings: A, B, and C. What's your A?
The 3?
A comes from vertex.
Oh.
C comes from focus.
The 4?
Yeah. And C will be
3?
3. And I need to find B.
Isn't it b squared equals a squared minus c squared?
Perfect. Yes. So B square is equal to 4 square minus C is 3 square.
That's 4 and 9. That's 16 and 9.
B is equal to square root of what? What is 16 minus 9?
Square root of 5.
5 or 7?
Oh, it's 16? Yeah, it's 7.
Square root of 7. And why I'm taking the positive note, my B, A and B both should be positive. That's why I'm considering only positive square root. So technically what will be this point here? Can you tell me? And this point here.
0, square root of 7, 0, negative square root of 7.
Correct. And now after that we join all these endpoints.
Make an ellipse.
Make an
Ellipse.
Yes, we get this ellipse. Perfect. Graphing is done, but I need to find the equation. X square over, what's your A?
Your A is 4.
So So it becomes
So you'll have x squared over 4 squared plus y squared over square root of 7.
square root of 7 square.
Yeah. But the square root and the squared cancel each other out, so won't it just be 7
Yes, correct. So you get x
equals
square.
1?
Perfect. Really good. Jose. So A you get from the vertex, C you get from the focus, B you get from the vertex of, so right here, A. So if you want to make a note for yourself here, maybe if you want to write it here, A vertex of major axis. So this is my major axis, the vertex of major axis. B vertex of minor axis, and C comes from focus.
Do you have to do anything else with that equation? Because you have an
No.
x and y and
No, that's it. That's your answer. I don't think so.
Okay.
Yep, that's it. You leave your answer there. I want everyone to do this. I want you to find the equation, also graph it. So you are given center at,
Can you go back for a bit?
yes. If you're done, I want you to find equation with center at 0, 0. Focus at 3, 0, and you're given vertex at 5, 0. Find the equation and graph also. I need both graph and equation. And one die.
Yes.
Okay. So let's see
Ooh.
how you're gonna do this.
So, snap. Here we go. So A would be 5. B, would it be 0?
Why B is 0? B, where do you get from?
The center.
No. B does not come from center. So, okay, let's graphs. Let's start graphing here. I want the focus first. Okay, focus is 3, 0, right? So if I'm graphing here, this is my graph here. One will be 3, 0. What will be the other one?
That would be 0.
Negative 3,
0, 0.
So focus
And
one,
5.
see here, if n one die, one focus is 3, 0, the other focus will be negative 3, 0, correct?
Yes.
Center is given to be at 0, 0, okay?
Okay.
And vertices is given to be 5, 0. If one is 5, 0, what's the other vertex?
Negative 5, 0.
Correct. Negative 5, 0. B is usually the vertex of, this is my major axis, right? Because my focus and my center is on here. So this is my major axis. I need B comes from my minor axis vertices. Vertices of my minor axis. How do I find that? So basically, what's my C? C comes from where?
C comes from your focus, which is 3.
3, correct. I don't know my B. B is not given in the question. How do I find my B?
B squared equals A squared minus C squared. So it's 5 squared minus 3 squared.
I'm sorry.
And that's 25 minus 9. And that is 16, square root of 16, which is 4.
Yeah, we will just take positive because B should be positive. Okay. Then what's this point and this point? Can you tell me?
It is positive 4 and negative 4.
0, positive 4. 0, negative.
0, 4, 0, okay.
Are you getting it?
Yes.
Okay. Now we will connect only the vertices. Only the vertices. Okay, we connected here. It goes all the way till here. Graphing, you're done here. That's what they wanted you in graphing, and you are done here. But I want you to find the equation. Equation will be x squared over what?
Oh, x squared over 5 squared plus y squared over 4 squared,
Is equal
which
to
is x squared over 25 and plus y squared over 16
equal to
equals 1.
equal to 1. Perfect. Okay. Another kind of questions you can get on this thing is it will says analyze the equation. You have to analyze the equation. You're given x squared over 25 plus y squared over 9 is equal to 1. X squared over 25 plus y squared over 9 is equal to 1. Is Daniel here? Daniel? Gerald?
I'm here.
Okay, Gerald. Okay. Can you tell me, I need to find my A, B and C. And for graphing, basically I need my vertex, my center, I need my focus, and vertex of major axis and minor axis. These are the 4 things you always get from a ellipse. Okay, let's see. Okay. What's your A, what's your B, and what's your C?
Let's
Okay.
how could you start me off on
Yeah.
helping me find A?
What's the formula? It's x squared over a square plus y squared over b square is equal to 1, correct?
Okay, so your A would be 5.
Correct. And your b is?
3.
Okay. C is not there in the question. But there is a formula where it connects A, B and C. Do you know the formula?
No, I do not.
It says b square is actually equal to a square minus c square. This is a formula where there is a connection between a, b and c. Let's plug in here. You get 3 square is equal to 5 square minus c square. You get 9 is equal to 25 minus c square. You get basically c square as 16. So your c comes out to be
4.
4. So 4. So can you now know your A, B and C. So what are the vertices of major axis?
The vertex or the vertices of the major axis.
So if my ellipse look like this, my vertex is where this graph and this axis cross. They're asking about these 2 points. The bigger axis. They are usually negative A0 and A0.
So negative 5, 0 and 5, 0?
Correct. So this will be negative 5, 0 and 5, 0. So remember, my vertex usually gives me my A. Okay. B. B gives me vertex of minor axis. If in the question they say just vertex, remember they're just talking about major axis. They're not talking about minor axis. Okay. If they say vertex of minor axis, they're asking for these 2 points. These 2 points come from B. How do you write these 2 points?
0, 3 and 0, negative 3.
Correct. You got these things. Then you have for center, I know using at the formula. I see this is a formula for center 0, 0. So I know my center is at 0, 0. I need to find this points. Focus. Focus. How do I find the focus? Focus comes from C.
So the focus would be, or the foci would be -40 and 40.
Correct. So focus comes from C, major axis vertex A, minor axis vertex B. Good. Any doubt, anyone, with this question here? Let's do one more problem before I go further.
Will the center always be 0, 0? Or will it change at some point?
It will change. I will teach you, it's a separate formula. It's very similar to this formula, but it's a separate formula, yes. But
Okay.
if you see,
Back for a second.
Yeah.
Quick. Sorry.
if you see the equation is like just x square over a square plus y square over b square. Just here is just x square and y square. You should know your center is 0, 0.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. You'll be doing that today. You'll get to know. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, so I want everyone to analyze. So you are given x square over 25 plus y square over 4 is equal to 1. Analyze this. Joshua?
Yeah.
Okay, let's analyze this. So I basically first thing is to know my A, B and C. Then I need to start graphing.
Yeah.
What's my center?
Your center is 0, 0.
Okay, perfect. What's my, okay, can you tell me my, what's my A?
Your A is going to be 5.
B?
B is going to be 2.
And C?
You're trying to find C.
Which formula?
B square, what is it? B square minus, B square equals B square minus C square.
Yes, correct. So you get 2 square is equal to 5 square minus C square. So you get 4 is equal to 25 minus C square. You get C square is equal to 21. So you get C equal to what?
Square root of 21.
Square root of 21. Okay. So can you tell me, let's talk about focus first. What's my focus?
Your focus is going to be square root of, or for the left side is going to be negative square root of 21, 0.
Mm-hmm.
So the right side is going to be square root of 21, 0.
Perfect. This is my focus here. What's my vertex?
Your vertex is going to be negative 5, 0 and 5, 0.
Correct. What is my vertex of minor axis?
Robin?
Minor axis, vertex.
It would be 0, 2.
Yes, correct. 0, negative 2. And then you just connect these vertices. Major axis and minor axis vertices, you connect it. That's how you get your graph. There is another thing, okay. So right now what we did is my graph technically looked like this. So far what we have did is an ellipse with my graph looking like this. Okay, this is my major axis, this is my smaller axis known as minor axis. Here was a vertex which was negative a0, this was a0, I'm calling it vertex. Then you had foci as c0 and negative c0. Center was at 0 0, and this vertices was 0 b and 0 negative b. Okay. These were the things given to you, and the formula for this thing was x square over a square plus y square over b square is equal to 1. Ellipse can be this way, and the other form of ellipse is it could be this way also. It could be this way also. In this case, now this bigger axis, this is my major axis. This is my minor axis because this is my smaller axis. So the coordinates of minor axis now will be, in this case, because they are on the x-axis, coordinates of minor axis are on the x-axis, so it will become negative b0 and b0. For major axis, since they are on my y-axis, the coordinates will become 0 a and 0 0 negative a. Foci will be here, which will become 0 c and 0 negative c, and center is at 0 0. It's just that it flipped. Again, my vertices of my minor axis will give me b, vertices of my major axis will give me a, center will give me foci in case my center is 0 0. Okay, when you have something like this, the formula will be, again, your a and b will always be positive. Your a and b will always be positive. Okay, and also we are given a condition, it stays the same. A square b square is equal to a square minus c square. But in this case the formula becomes x square. Now since you know it, here we have, like, you know, this thing is my major axis. Here my major axis changes, it will be x square over b square plus y square over a square is equal to 1. Yeah, like in the question, how do we make out whether we have this kind or this kind? How do you figure it out is, you're gonna see the value underneath the x and you're gonna compare with the value underneath the y. If x has value greater than the y, that means it's this graph. But if your x value underneath your x is less than whatever is underneath the y, that means it is this kind of graph. I again repeat this thing. If you, in this situation, the value underneath x will always be greater than y. As you can see in the previous example, you had x over 25 plus y square over 4. Note, the value underneath y was greater than the value underneath x is greater than the value underneath y. 25 is greater than 4. That means my graph is going to look like this. But if I have something like x square, if I say something like, if you have something like x square over 4 plus y square over 25, whatever is underneath x is less than whatever is underneath y, you should know your graph is gonna be like this. That's how you make out the difference. Okay, let's see the questions you're gonna get on this. So it says, find the equation of the ellipse having one focus at 0, 2 and vertices at 0, -3 and 0, 3. Graph. Always whenever you're given an ellipse, I would suggest you to graph. That's your first step. Christopher,
Yes.
I want to start graphing. What's my center?
Center.
Yes. Center, since we are not talking, we are just talking about center 0, 0. I haven't taught you about the other centers so far.
Okay.
Okay.
0, 0 then.
Okay. Focus 0, 2. So where is my 0, 2? Is it on y-axis or x-axis?
Y-axis.
Y-axis. So if 1 is 0, 2, what's my other one?
-0, -2.
Correct. So this is my focus. Which kind of my graph is? Will my graph look like the first one or the second kind?
It would look like the second one.
Second one. I know it as soon as my focus is on the y-axis, I know it is my second kind. Okay, what's my vertices?
It would be -3, 0 and 3, 0. Or 0, -3, 0, 0, 3.
Yeah, so it's on my y-axis. Okay. What about my here vertices?
What?
I have to find vertices on minor axis also.
Oh, okay. So A is 3 and C is 2.
2, correct. And the formula is?
B squared is equal to A squared minus C squared.
Correct. So you get 3 square minus 2 square, you get 9 minus 4. You get B as what?
Square root of 5.
So what's the coordinates?
Oh, the coordinate is square root of 5, 0, and negative square root of 5, 0.
And then you connect these vertices. Okay, that's how you got your graph. But I need the equation. So it will be x squared over what?
It would be x squared over over 5
Okay,
plus y squared over 9
is equal to 1. Correct.
is equal to 1.
Correct. Note, in this case, since my graph looks like this, it will be x squared over b squared, not a squared, plus y squared over a squared is equal to 1. Note, my value underneath x is less than value underneath y. That means my graph is going to look like this. The second kind, not the first kind. Let's see here, one more. We'll do question on this. So you are given, you have to find equation and graph. You're given center 0, 0, focus 0, -4, and then you're given vertex as 0, 5. Is Angel here? No. Samantha?
Yes.
So let's see Samantha here. So let's start graphing first.
Okay.
My center is 0, 0. My focus I have to mark. It will be an x-axis or y-axis?
In the y-axis.
So what will be my focus?
It's 0 and -4.
Okay.
So 4 and then -4.
4 and -4. Perfect. Okay. Vertex. Vertex will be on my y-axis or x-axis?
Y-axis.
What is it? 0, 5 and?
And -0 and -5.
Correct. I need to find these two vertices here. I don't know these two vertices.
Yes.
How do I find it? What's my A, what's my B, and what's my C?
Okay, so your A is 5
Mhm.
and your C is 4.
B is 4,
No, C.
C is 4. Okay. And what's the formula?
So you use the formula b squared equals a squared minus c squared.
You get B as?
Okay, then you get 9, 3. Yeah. So b is 3.
Yeah, so the coordinates will be?
So your coordinates would be 3, 0.
Mm-hmm.
I mean negative 3, 0.
Correct. And then you connect all these points. I
Yes.
connected. Right, I got this graph. But I'd like to find the equation. What is it? X square over?
So x squared over 3.
Square.
I mean 9.
Yeah. Plus y square over?
And yeah, plus y over 25
is equal
equals
to
1.
correct. Really good. Okay. I again repeat, you make out the difference by seeing the value underneath the x and y. If the value underneath x is less than the y, you have second kind. But if underneath the x value is more than the y value, then it's the first kind. That's how you make out the difference. Is Shaira here? Shaira? Karen?
Yes.
Okay, Karen, let's do this question here. So you are given, you have to analyze the equation you are given as 9x square plus y square is equal to 9. You are given this thing here. So this is not in standard form, because so far what we have done, my ellipse equation was x square over a square plus y square over b square is equal to 1, right? I need here 1 here, Shaira. This side should be 1. How do I make this as 1?
Divided by 9.
Yes, correct. In both equations, these were the two equations we done, and both equation had my right hand side as 1. So that means I need to make this as 1. And how do we make that as 1 is divide the whole equation with that number. So I'm going to divide. So you had 9x square plus y square as 9. To make this as 1, I divide everything by 9. Okay. What is 9x square divided by 9, Shaira? Oh, Karen.
What? Oh, x square.
Okay. Here you cannot divide, it becomes y square over 9 and this is equal to 1. Now this looks in standard form. But if there is no denominator, what's my denominator?
1.
1. Correct. Now, can you tell me, is my graph, now it's in same form. Okay. Can you tell me, is it my first form or the second form?
The second.
The second one, because my x value is less than my y value. Correct. Can you tell me what's my A, what's my B, and what's my C?
A is 3.
Okay. B is?
B is 1.
And what's my C?
C is square root of 2.
How did you find that?
C squared equals to A squared minus B squared.
Okay, you get 1 square is equal to 3 square minus c square. You get 1 minus 9 is equal to negative c square. You get c square is equal to 8, right?
Okay. Okay.
So you get C as
It's 2 square root of 2.
correct. Absolutely correct. Now let's start graphing here. For this kind of equation, I know my center is at 0, 0.
Yeah.
And you said it is second kind, right? It is second kind. Remember that. So what will focus? Let's talk about focus. What's the coordinates of focus?
Focus is 0, 1.
Focus. Focus. Focus comes
Oh.
from C.
Oh, okay. 0, 2 square root of 2.
And the other will be?
Then negative 2 square root of 2.
Okay, perfect. What about my vertex?
Vertex is 0, 3.
Okay, correct. And the other one will be?
0, negative 3.
Okay. I need to find vertex on my minor axis also. What is it?
Is 1, 0.
Mm-hmm.
And negative 1, 0.
Correct. And then you join these points. Correct. Absolutely correct. Karen, really good. So if it's not in standard form, make sure you put in the standard form. Okay. Let's do one more example on this. We're given 4x square plus y square is equal to 16. 4x square plus y square is equal to 16. Is Carly here? Jelena is not here. Alejandro? Daniel? Angel? Shaira? Eduardo?
Yes.
Okay, let's see for this one.
What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to divide the 16 over.
Okay. What do you get?
You get that, but since we have a number that's like we can't really divide by 16, so don't we divide it by 16 by 4, right?
Yes, yes.
So which gives us x squared over 4 plus y squared over 16 equals 1.
Perfect. This is my second kind or first kind?
It would be your second one because the x is less than y.
Perfect. Okay, you're saying my second one. Okay, I need to figure out what's my A, what's my B, and what's my C.
Your A is gonna be 2. No, I mean your B is gonna be 2, while your A is gonna be 4.
Okay, and what's my C?
We don't have a complete answer, but we have an answer for it of 2 root 3, right?
Let's see. You have B square is equal to A square minus C square. You got 2 square is equal to 4 square minus C square. So you got basically C square as 16 minus 4, which you got C square as 12, which is 2 root 3. Correct. So you get C as 2 root 3. Absolutely correct. Okay, now let's start drawing here. This kind of equation, I know my center is 0, 0. What's my focus?
What again?
What's my focus? Focus.
Your focus is gonna be it's gonna be 2 root 0 of 2 root over 3. 2 root 3, but
Okay.
it's gonna be plus or minus.
Okay, perfect. 0, negative 2 root 3. Perfect. This is my focus. What about my vertex?
Your vertex is gonna be 0 plus or minus 9.
Plus or minus 4. 4.
Oh yeah, 4. Yes, sorry.
Plus or minus 4. What about my minor axis 1?
And your minor axis is gonna be plus or minus 1 over 0.
No. No. Where do you getting 1 from?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I just got the wrong notes here. Okay, it's gonna be plus or minus 2.
Yes,
Sorry.
correct. So it becomes negative 2, 0 and 2, 0. And then you connect all these points. Good, Edward. So far what we have done is you need to figure out ellipse. We have done 2 kind of equations. Okay. First, horizontal and vertical ellipse. Okay. You need to figure out whether my equation looks like this or it looks like elongated. How it is. How does it look like? Okay. You figure out from the bottom. It's if the x value is greater than the y value, it will be like this. If your x value is less than the y value, it will be like this. That's how you make out the difference. So far we have been doing when my center is 0, 0. But what happens when my center is not 0, 0? I want to do some problems when my center is not 0, 0. Okay. So when my center is not 0, 0, okay, suppose my center is H and K. H and K. So basically when I'm saying my graph now, rather than having center here, I have center here now. Suppose. And my graph looks like this here. It's the first kind only, but my center has changed. It's the first kind only, but my center has changed. Okay. In this case, they are saying my center is HK. Center is HK. When your center is HK, okay, let's see, I'm gonna, okay, let's see here. Can I, Jose?
Yeah.
My center is HK, okay? What was my vertex in the previous case?
In the previous case is 0, 0. So aren't for like the focus and the vertex, aren't you gonna just since it's sideways, aren't you gonna just add h to the x?
Yes. So what does it become?
Both the vertex is gonna be a plus a or h.
Yeah. Comma
0.
K.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it's out of the origin.
What about this
And
one?
then the other vertex is going to be h minus a comma k.
Correct. So basically in previous case what happened is we had 0a and we had 0 negative a. But note in that case my center was 0, 0. But in this case my center has changed to HK. So if I have to find my new vertex in that 0, 0, in that a0 and negative a0, I will add HK. That's how I get my new vertices. So note in this kind of thing, my y values remain the same. If it was k, it will still remain the same. Only my x terms will change in case of the vertex. Similarly for focus also, my y value will still remain the same, but my x coordinate will change. Can you tell me what will be my focus, Jose?
It's going to be h plus c, h minus c, comma k.
Correct. h plus c and h minus c comma k. Okay, what about my this axis?
For your B and K. So you're going to get H, comma, K plus B, K minus B.
Correct. This is the only difference here. So your things changes. You are just adding whatever you had before. Whatever you had before, in that you are adding your HKs in all the coordinates. But also the formula changes. In this, the formula changes. The formula will change to, it will be x minus h. So if your vertex is hk, so if it's positive, you will make it negative. It will become x minus h whole square over a square plus y minus k square over b square is equal to 1. So you're going to subtract the vertex from x and y. This is when your graph looks like this. Second case is when my graph, suppose I have a graph which looks like this. In this case, again, my center has changed to HK. This is my minor axis. This is my minor axis. This was B0 and negative B0. So this will become H minus BK and this will become H plus BK. And in here, this was my 0A and negative 0A. So this will become HK plus A, HK minus A. And I have to find these two. This will become HK plus C. This will become HK minus C. So this is your focus. This is your focus, center, vertex, vertex. In this also the formula technically remains the same. It's just that it will be x minus h whole square over b square because it's this kind of graph plus y minus k square over a square is equal to 1. It's the only difference in the formula is now you subtract from x and y your the center. You subtract the center. Example. Let's do an example on this is you're given, it says find an equation. It says find an equation with center you're given as 2, negative 3, 1 focus at 3, negative 3 and 1 vertex at 5, negative 3. You are given this thing. It's 5, negative 3 or 5, negative 3. 5, negative 3. And you have to graph. You have to graph.
Does that say center 2, negative 3?
Yes, 2, negative 3. Center 2, negative 3. Correct. Let's start doing this question. Is Axel here?
Yeah.
Okay, Axel. Let's see this question.
Yeah.
So, first of all, you're given center as 2, negative 3. Let's mark that center. Let's start graphing. I want to start graphing before I do it. 2, -3. Which, this or this side? Where will be my 2, -3?
On which quadrant?
Yeah, which quadrant?
The fourth quadrant.
Fourth quadrant. So it will be somewhere 2 here, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3 here. So it's this point here somewhere. Okay, this is my center. Okay. One focus is at 3, -3. So 3, -3. One focus is here. Where's my other focus?
One more time?
So one focus is here, right?
Yes.
You always have two focus. One focus is given to you in question as 3, -3, which I marked. What do you think will be the other focus?
1, -3?
How did you find 1, -3? You're correct. You are correct. You're not wrong. You are correct. But how did you find it?
It's mirrored, isn't it?
Yes, it's a mirror. Actually, that's correct. It's a mirror. Since distance C, this -3 will remain the same. My K remains the same. If this was 3, the distance between this and this is 1. So the distance between this and this also be 1. You're correct, Axel. Absolutely correct. Okay. What about my vertex? So one vertex is given to you as 5, -3. I mark that. Okay. I mark here. This is 5, -3. What do you think will be the other vertex?
-1, -3?
-1, -1, -3. Correct. Absolutely correct. So you are saying this is my vertex, this is my vertex, this is my center, this is my focus, this is my focus. Okay. What about my other things? I have to find this coordinates also, this one, the other ones. How do I find that? So let's see, what's your A, what's your B, and what's your C? Let's figure out that first.
A would be 3, I think.
A you're saying is 3. Because the distance between center and V is how much? 3, right?
Yes.
So it's 3. Okay. What about your B? You cannot figure out. What's your C?
Is it also the distance between like 2, -3 and 3, -3, or?
It's distance between, yes. It's distance between center and focus.
Oh, so it'll be 1.
1. Correct. So note everyone, in this case, you just cannot see at the point and tell, oh, this is my A, this is my B. That you can do in case of when the center is 0, 0. But when your center is not 0, 0, how you figure out your A is basically distance between center and vertex. What's the distance between center and vertex? So this was my center, which was 2, -3. Vertex is 5, -3. How much is the distance? Note there is 3 difference, so that means my distance is 3. Similarly, C is distance between center and focus. What's the distance between my center and focus? This is 3, this is 2. The distance is only 1. So that's how I got my C as 1. Now, I don't know the B. Axel, how do I find my B?
You would, it would be 3 squared and then 1 squared.
Yeah, 9 minus.
No, A squared in the equation A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Yes, it's A squared minus C squared. I plugged in here, I got 9 minus 1, I got B squared as 8. What's my B? What is square root of 8? Square root of 8 is?
So I got lost where I was 7. There's no square root of 8, is there?
2 root 2.
But it was, 2 and then square root of 2, right?
Correct, yes. So you got your B. Now this graph, what do you think? Is it the first kind or the second kind?
Say it again?
This graph, this here, what's written here, do you think my my graph is the first kind or the second kind?
The second kind?
See my here. First kind looks like this. Second kind looks like this.
Oh, the first kind.
It's the first kind. It's the first kind. So I know it's, since it's the first kind, the formula is x minus h whole square over a square plus y minus k whole square over b square is equal to 1. Okay. So it becomes x minus what? What's your h?
Negative 3?
H comes from center. HK comes from center. So your center is 2, 3, right?
Yes.
So your h is?
Is it 2 or negative 3?
It's 2, 2.
Oh,
So
okay.
it becomes x minus 2 whole square over a was?
A is 3.
So it becomes 9 plus y minus, what was your k?
5?
See, your center, look at your center. Center was 2, negative 3, right? So h and k,
Oh, okay. So negative 3.
negative 3. So over, and your b was?
2 square root of 2?
Yes, whole square is equal to 1. Which basically x minus 2 square over 9. What does this become? Well, it is y minus minus 3.
Can you say that again?
What is my y minus minus 3?
Y plus 3?
Y plus 3 whole square. What is 2 root 2 square?
Uh, 8.
8 is equal to 1. You got your equation. This is correct. Equation you got is correct. But I need to do my graphing complete. I need to figure out the vertexes of these things. You found your b as 2 root 2. Right? You found your b as 2 root 2. What do you think will be here and here? What will be the coordinates of this thing and this thing here?
2 negative 4?
You know how it will be? Remember, it's a mirror image, right?
Yes.
So, in this case, my 2 will remain as it is. And the
Yes.
second coordinate is for negative 3. You will add 2 root 2. And then you will subtract 2 root 2. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
And then you just join it. And then you just join it. Join it. Let's do one more question on this before. That will be the last question for today. Let's do that one more question. The only confusing part is this one here, guys, everyone. Only when your center changes, it becomes so confusing. So make sure A is just not directly you get from the question. A is actually the distance between center and vertex. Similarly, C is the distance between center and focus. B is also the distance between center and the minor axis. Let's do one more question here. The last question for today is, so let's see, we are given here is 55. You are given center at 2, negative 2, vertex at 7, negative 2, and you are given focus at 4, negative 2.
7, negative 2?
7, negative 2, yes. Vertex at 7, negative 2 and focus at 4, negative 2. If you got this question, if you did this question by yourself today, right now, that means you got this ellipse topic really good. Anyone who wants to do this question with me?
I can do it, I guess.
Okay, yes.
Your center is going to be in the 4th quadrant. So when you plot your focus, it's 2 away from.
So let's see. This is your center. You are saying it is 2, negative 2. Correct. Okay. Let's mark focus first. What is your focus?
It's 4, negative 2.
Okay, 1, 2. This is 4, negative 2 here. And what would be my other focus?
It'd be 2, negative 2, because it's 2 away from your center.
Yes. So what would be my other focus?
Oh, since it's 2 away, it's going to be 2, negative 2, what have you?
So 2, negative 2 is
Oh,
my
right,
center.
yeah, I mean, 0, negative 2. I don't know why I
Correct.
was saying 2.
Correct. It will be 0, negative 2. Since the distance between these two is 2, I'll go to the other side. So it becomes 0, negative 2. Correct. Okay, what's
And
my
since
vertex?
your vertex is at 7, negative 2, and it's 5 away from your center.
So it is vertex 7, negative 2. So here this distance is 5. So if you go 5 this side, what does it become?
Negative 3,
Yes.
negative 2.
Correct. So this is your negative 3, negative 2. Absolutely correct.
So your A is 5 and your C is 2.
C is 2. Correct. I need to find my. Can you find the B?
B squared equals 25 minus 4.
Okay. Which is 21. So B is square root of 21.
Yeah.
So what will be my this coordinate and the bottom, the top and the bottom coordinates?
You're going to have the square root of 21. Oh, it's based off the center, right?
Yeah.
It's where's the center? The center was at, can you move your thumb?
Oh, yeah.
2 minus the square root of 2? Or 2?
So it will be 2 minus 2. And then you're going to add B and subtract B in negative 2. So it becomes 2 minus 2 minus root 21. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then let's join it. It's going to be like this. Okay. This is this thing. What will be my formula? It will become x.
X minus 2.
Yeah. Whole
Squared.
Over
Your A is 5, so 25.
Okay. Plus
Y minus, it would be a Y plus 2, because that's a negative 2 over there.
Okay. Over
Square over 21 squared, but the root and the square cancel out to 21.
Okay, is equal to
1.
Really good, Jose. Really, really good. The only thing you have to remember is about the B. So make sure whatever you look here, since it's like this, it's going on the top. So this coordinates will be here. My 2 will still remain the same. Only in the Y coordinate, I'm going to add my B and subtract B. Anyone, any questions with today's lecture? The only people's attendance I don't have is Shaira, Angel, Daniel, Alejandro, and Carly, and Jelena. Okay, guys. Then I'll be assigning you homework. Make sure you do your homework and see you tomorrow. Have a nice day, guys.
By the way, I believe Shira is here. She just texted something.
Oh, yeah. Shaira is there. Yes. I'm gonna. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for letting me know. Thanks, guys. So we did, Shaira, if you see here, we did actually use 2 and negative 2 here in the vertex. Since this is my vertex, it becomes x minus 2 whole square. So the formula is, so this is your h and this is your k. So it becomes x minus h whole square over a square plus y minus k square over b square is equal to 1. Okay, this is your formula. So that's how you got your, that's where you're putting your h and k. So we did put, see here, x minus, what's your h? So hk is the center. Center was 2, negative 2. So your h and k. Your h becomes 2. So it becomes x minus 2 whole square, and a we found was 5. So it becomes 25 plus y minus k was negative 2. It becomes y minus minus 2 whole square over b square, and b we found was 21. So it becomes is equal to 1. Yes, that's the final answer. This is the final answer here. It's just 2 minus will become positive. That's it. You got it? Okay, perfect. Okay. Let's see here. Thanks, guys. Okay, see you tomorrow. If you have questions, please stay back. Okay. Yes, on one die. You have question on one die? Any questions on one die? No? Okay, Eduardo, any questions?
For the test, it was 120 minutes, right?
Yes.
For
in general, for you, it was that much.
Okay.
For everyone else, it was 90 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I want to talk about a little bit of my grades, because you sent me an email saying that I have close to 70%.
How much was it?
It was 70%.
So yes, it was 70%, but
questions in the test, because I was able to. I remember most of the stuff that we've done in our lessons. Such I was able to do it with ease, but in reality, it tells me that I get all the answers wrong, or the majority of them.
Because the thing is, in the class, frank speaking, Eduardo, you're doing really good in my class. I won't say you're a bad student at all. You answer questions pretty good. Let me just see how you're doing so that I know. Just let me go through it so that I have my...
Yeah, just said I feel like the quizzes and the tests are going against me, making it frustrating to pass this class.
What the quizzes? Quizzes also did not go good?
I'm not really doing well in quizzes overall and tests.
Do you think there's enough time for you?
I do the homeworks and such, but I don't think that's enough. If there isn't any like other things that we can do, like more example problems or something in the homework or something, to help me get a better understanding on what I can do in the tests.
I mean, if you want to do, I can see if for the next test maybe I'll make a sample of it where you can do the questions, like sample questions, and that will help you, like, you can time yourself also, and then you can do more problems, practice problems.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe you should do that or something, because I want to pass this class.
Because I know you're doing good in the class, but right now I cannot see I'm just opening it right now. So if I see your results, I don't know, like you're saying 70% somehow for you, I feel it's less, because in the class the way you answer, I expect definitely more. That's okay. I'll check. I'll see what you're doing. Maybe I have to go through your work also in the exam, what you are doing. Maybe, but are you getting what's being taught in the class, Eduardo, or no?
Yeah, I am getting it. Like, yeah, I am. Just that, like, I just need to do a little bit more work and such, like, in order to help me fully understand it. Because before this, like, I took trigonometry, but like I failed it 2 times, and I switched to pre-cal this class.
Okay.
And I was able to get a full understanding of it just from my previous classes, because it's basically just trigonometry here in this class. But for some reason, it still frustrates me how most of the answers I get are usually wrong.
Okay, I'll assign more. What about the homework? How are you doing your homework? Is it good, or homework is like you're doing bad on
Yeah,
the
I am doing. I'm doing really well on the homeworks.
You're doing real well on the homework. So I mean that wouldn't be a problem. You know, in fact, when you go for an exam or something, I would suggest you to go through your homework also.
Yeah, but it always says past due and such. Like, can we still look back into it again, or
Yes,
or
you
we
can.
can't?
You can. And if it's not even open, you can ask me, hey Miss K, open those homework for us for the exam. I can always open the homeworks. For you
Okay,
to,
yeah.
for you to at least go through your homework. I can do that. That's for sure.
Okay, yeah. Thanks for the advice and such.
Yeah, so let's see. I want to see your quizzes so that I know how you're doing on your quiz. What it is. No, I see what you are saying. Yes. It's okay. No, you go through your homework. That's one thing. My exams, my quizzes, everything is related to the homework, Eduardo. If you are doing the homework, there is no way you know you have to go through that so that to to do good.